unit APU is located in the unpressurized tail cone. The APU can be started using electrical power supplied by ground external power unit or engine-driven generator or APU battery, provided the DC essential bus bar is supplied. APU makes the A380 independent of external pneumatic and electrical power supply. When running, the APU can supply on ground bleed air for engine start and for air conditioning, electrical power via two generators. During takeoff, bleed air for air conditioning when optimum aircraft performance is required. Flight. Bleed air for engine start, air conditioning, and backup for electrical power below 22,500 feet. And when aircraft speed is lower than Mach 0.56. Bleed air and backup electrical power in case of all engines flame out, regardless of the aircraft speed. APU is presented here in two parts: APU power generation and APU supply. The APU is a dual rotor engine, one power rotor N1 and one high pressure rotor N2. Air flows into the APU via the air intake flap. The flap automatically closes when the APU is not in operation. Supplies. Bleed air via a bleed valve. Via two driven APU generators, APU Gen A and B, that supply power at a constant frequency of 400 Hz. Any APU generator can replace any engine generator, on ground and in flight. The two APU generators can supply the entire aircraft network. Start and shut down are monitored and controlled by an electronic control box, ECB. The ECB informs the ECAM display on the APU-SD, enabling the pilots to monitor the APU parameters. Displayed on the engine warning display, EWD. APU avail. The APU is running. APU bleed. The APU supplies bleed air to the air conditioning packs. Panel. The master switch push-button switch, used to switch on or off the power supply of the APU, and The Start push button. Used to start the APU. Which is located on the air panel. It is used to control the APU bleed valve. APU fire controls are located on the APU fire panel. For more information, please refer to A380 Fire Protection chapter. APU external controls on the maintenance nose gear panel, APU fire light, and APU shut-off push button. But also on the refuel defil panel, APU emergency shutdown push button. The APU fault emer shutdown message is triggered by the APU fire push button, or by the APU emergency shutdown push button, or by the APU shut-off push button switch. The APU shuts down immediately without cooling period. Note: if an APU fire occurs in flight, the APU fire recam procedure has to be carried out. Refer to A380 Fire Protection chapter. The APU fault auto shutdown message is triggered in case of an APU failure, or, if on ground, a fire is detected and no crew action is done. The APU shuts down immediately without cooling period. APU fault message is also triggered if the detected APU failure does not lead to an auto or an emergency shutdown. So, the APU remains available to be used. The decision to shut down the APU remains up to the flight crew. A380 lighting system comprises the following: cockpit lighting, exterior lighting, cabin signs and emergency lighting. Ambient lighting system is provided by 3 light strips located around the overhead panel. It provides overall shadow-free cockpit lighting. There are lights on the overhead panel and under the glare shield for the lighting of the center pedestal. There are lights under the glare shield for the lighting of the main instrument panel. Cockpit panels have integral lighting. There are lights for the pilot eye reference device, standby compass, and the visualize indicator. Storm lighting function provides maximum lighting in the cockpit. The main instrument panel lights and the ambient lights are at their maximum brightness. The brightness of all annunciators is adjustable. The test position of the AN light selector is used to visually check that the lighting of all annunciators is operative. Captain and first officer stations have lateral console lights, briefcase area lights, and floor area lights. These lights are under the captain and first officer seats and provide lighting for the surrounding floor. The captain and first officer have a light for their map holder. There are lights under the glare shield for the lighting of the captain and first officer sliding tables. Captain and the first officer have a reading light. The orientation of these reading lights is adjustable. There is a fixed reading light for the third occupant. Note, there is also reading lights for console and other occupants. There are fixed lights for the coach stowage and for the avionics compartment. Exterior lighting is controlled via the X-light panel located on the overhead panel. There are 3 white anti-collision strobe lights, which flash alternately with the beacon. Note, if strobe lights are switched off in flight, a strobe light off memo appear on the engine warning display. There are 3 red anti-collision beacon lights, which flash alternately with the strobe lights. As 3 navigation lights and 2 obstruction lights, which come on ground only. Note: obstruction lights make the aircraft more visible to the other airfield users. The airline logo lights come on the tail fin. Wing scan lights and engine scan lights illuminate the wing leading edges and engine intakes respectively. This is to get an easier visual detection of ice accretion. Aircraft has 2 runway turn-off lights, which provide lighting to identify taxiways and any obstruction that may be on the runway or taxiway. 4 camera lights installed to illuminate the nose landing gear, the main landing gear, and their surrounding areas on the ground. Note: on ground, if ATAX is on, the camera lights come on. In flight, the runway turn-off lights and the camera lights go off automatically. Landing lights come on in the area in front of the aircraft. Taxi lights illuminate front left and front right areas. Takeoff lights illuminate the area in front of the aircraft and help to identify obstacles on the runway. Cabin lighting system comprises the following: cabin decks general lighting, spotlights, and stairs lighting. Note: in a non-powered aircraft, the flight crew can light the cockpit way for 60 seconds. The push button is located at the main deck door 1 left. Controls for cabin signs are located on the signs panel. They are used to give instructions to the passengers. The seatbelt switch controls the fasten seatbelt and the return to seat signs. The no smoking switch controls the no smoking signs. Note: the no smoking switch can be optionally replaced by a no portable equipment switch along with please turn off electronic devices cabin signs. Set in auto position, fasten seat belt, return to seat, and no smoking signs come on as soon as slats are extended or the main landing gear is extended. Note: in the event of excessive cabin altitude, the cabin lights, depending on the CIDS programming and the cabin signs, come on regardless of the position of the seat belts and no smoking switches. Emergency lighting system is designed to guide passengers to the exits in an emergency situation. It is independently controlled by the EMER push buttons located on the flight attendant panels, FAPs, or the EMER exit light switch located on the cockpit overhead panel. In the arm position, the emergency lighting system activates in case of failure of the cabin lighting system. failure in the electrical system or excessive cabin altitude.